The Lord began to deal with my spirit in the quiet hours, and He made it clear that what He was about to reveal concerning August 10th was not something to be taken lightly. I felt a weight, a trembling in my soul, because this was not just another date on the calendar. It was marked in the heavenly realm long before we ever stepped into this year. As I sought Him in prayer, the vision unfolded before me, and I understood that this was both a warning and an invitation. A warning because there are events that will shake the hearts of men, and an invitation because God in His mercy is alerting His people ahead of time so that we can be ready. He is showing us that there are appointed times in which heaven and earth intersect, where the spiritual atmosphere shifts, and August 10th is one of those appointed times. I sense the urgency in His voice, almost like the sound of a trumpet in the distance, calling His watchmen to take their posts. This is not a word for the casual listener. This is a message for those who have ears to hear and hearts that will respond. God is saying, do not dismiss what I am about to reveal. Do not treat it as common, for the things I will bring to pass on that day are part of my plan to awaken, to correct, and to prepare my people. And as I continued to listen, it became clear that this date carries a weight of spiritual significance that will cause many to look back and realize they were warned, but only those who took the word seriously will stand unshaken when it comes. The Lord began to show me that August 10th would not just be a day in which something happens in the natural, but a day in which there is a shaking in the unseen realm, a shifting that will reverberate into the physical world. I saw in the Spirit that the atmosphere over nations was charged, almost as if a great unveiling was about to take place, and what had been hidden in deep places was going to be brought to light. I felt the trembling of hearts because this shaking is not only about what is happening in the world, it is about the testing of the soul. It is a moment when faith will be weighed, when intentions will be exposed, when the quiet thoughts of the heart will no longer be able to remain concealed. In this revelation, it became clear to me that God is allowing the shaking because it will strip away the false coverings people have placed over their lives. Many have hidden behind appearances, behind titles, behind religious habits, but August 10th will confront the truth of what lies within. I saw a line being drawn in the Spirit, separating those who are genuine from those who are merely performing. It is a time when the Lord Himself will look at the hearts of men and say, I know what is real, and I know what is false. The shaking is not meant to destroy the faithful, but to prove them, to strengthen them, and to cause them to stand in the midst of what is coming. And for those who have been lukewarm, this shaking will be like a sudden alarm in the night, jolting them to the reality that the time to choose has arrived, and there will be no neutral ground left to stand on. The Spirit of the Lord began to make it clear that August 10th would be a day when the veil over many things would be torn away, and what has been hidden in shadows, both in the corridors of power and in the private chambers of hearts, would be brought into the open. I saw in the vision a light so intense that it pierced into places where darkness thought it could hide forever. Every secret agenda, every whispered plan against the purposes of God, every concealed compromise was suddenly exposed, unable to withstand the brightness of His revealing. This was not a gentle uncovering. It was as if the Lord Himself reached into the depths and turned over what had been buried, forcing it to be seen for what it truly is. And I understood that this exposure would not only be for the world at large, but for individuals, for households, for leaders, for anyone who has been walking with hidden sin or secret motives. The Lord showed me that people will be faced with a choice they can no longer postpone, either bow in humility and repentance before the truth, or harden their hearts and cling to the very darkness that is being revealed. There will be a weight to this moment, a heaviness in the air, because decisions made in this time will carry consequences far beyond the day itself. This will not be a time for pretending, for putting on a mask, or for hoping that no one notices. The light of God will not be fooled by outward appearances. I saw some responding with tears, falling to their knees as the reality of their condition hit them, while others clenched their fists, refusing to yield even as the truth stared them in the face. It will be a dividing moment, not created by man, but orchestrated by the hand of God, separating those who love truth from those who resist it, no matter the cost. The Lord impressed upon my spirit that this is not the hour to be spiritually asleep, not the time to be distracted by the noise and glitter of the world. because August 10th will be a day that draws a clear line between those who have been watchful and those who have been careless. I felt the urgency in his call, a summons for his people to shake off complacency and take their place on the walls as watchmen in prayer. In the vision, I saw many walking through life with their heads down, consumed with the busyness of everyday matters, unaware that a storm was approaching. They were so caught up in temporary things that they failed to see the signs gathering in the distance. But then I heard the voice of the Lord like the sound of a shofar, cutting through the distractions, calling his children to lift up their eyes, to be sober, to be alert. This is not a warning meant to create panic. It is a preparation for those who will heed his voice. He is saying, do not let your oil run out. Do not neglect the flame I have placed within you, for the time is coming when you will need it to see your way through the darkness. I saw those who had been faithful in prayer, rooted in his word, moving with confidence even as the atmosphere shifted because they were anchored in him. But I also saw others scrambling, confused, unprepared, trying to find stability when it was too late to build it. The Lord is calling now for readiness, for hearts to be tuned to his heartbeat, for ears to be trained to recognize his whisper even amidst the chaos, because in the days ahead, it will not be the loudest voice that leads you. It will be the quiet, steady voice of the Spirit guiding the watchful into safety. The Lord began to show me that we are stepping into a prophetic season where the signs of his movement will not be hidden from those who are paying attention, and August 10th will serve as a divine marker in this unfolding. I saw that what takes place will not be random or disconnected. It will be woven into the fabric of his plan, with confirmations coming in layers. There will be signs in nature, moments that cause people to stop and wonder, events that will seem unusual yet carry a spiritual weight that cannot be ignored. There will be global happenings, shifts in nations, sudden changes in leadership, unexpected alliances and breakdowns that will align with what he has spoken, as though the headlines themselves are echoing his word. He is saying, do not let your oil run out. Do not neglect the flame I have placed within you, for the time is coming when you will need it to see your way through the darkness. I saw those who had been faithful in prayer, rooted in his word, moving with confidence even as the atmosphere shifted because they were anchored in him. But I also saw others scrambling, confused, unprepared, trying to find stability when it was too late to build it. The Lord is calling now for readiness, for hearts to be tuned to his heartbeat, for ears to be trained to recognize his whisper, even amidst the chaos, because in the days ahead it will not be the loudest voice that leads you. It will be the quiet, steady voice of the Spirit guiding the watchful into safety. The Lord began to show me that we are stepping into a prophetic season where the signs of his movement will not be hidden from those who are paying attention, and August 10th will serve as a divine marker in this unfolding. I saw that what takes place will not be random or disconnected. It will be woven into the fabric of his plan, with confirmations coming in layers. There will be signs in nature, moments that cause people to stop and wonder, events that will seem unusual yet carry a spiritual weight that cannot be ignored. There will be global happenings, shifts in nations, sudden changes in leadership, unexpected alliances and breakdowns that will align with what he has spoken, as though the headlines themselves are echoing his word. And for those who have been seeking him closely, there will also be deeply personal signs, dreams that carry unmistakable clarity, prophetic impressions that will later be confirmed in striking detail, encounters with his presence that leave no doubt he is speaking. It will be as if heaven is pressing in closer to earth, making it impossible to deny that his hand is at work. I saw people looking back and realizing that the events of this day were not isolated moments, but pieces of a greater puzzle God has been revealing over time. And while the world may explain these things away as coincidence, those with spiritual eyes will recognize them as divine fingerprints, clear evidence that God is in control, orchestrating even the smallest details to point back to him. This will be a time when those who have doubted will be confronted by undeniable proof, and those who have believed will be strengthened, knowing that they are not walking blindly, but are being led step by step by the one who holds the future. It will be a season where the atmosphere itself feels charged with prophecy, where everything from the winds to the words spoken in conversation seem to carry a hidden message, urging God's people to lean in closer, to listen more intently, and to respond without delay. The Lord impressed upon me that this word is not given to stir fear, but to awaken hearts to the seriousness of the hour, to draw His people back into a place of purity, holiness, and intimacy with Him before it is too late. I felt the tenderness of His heart in the midst of the warning, like a father reaching out to rescue his children from danger they cannot yet see. He is not a God who delights in judgment, but a God who gives every opportunity for repentance, for restoration, for turning back before the final moment arrives. I saw in the Spirit that many have been drifting, lulled into a false sense of security, thinking there is more time, thinking they can make things right later. But the Lord is saying that later is not guaranteed. His mercy is stretching out even now, calling those who have wandered far to return, calling those who have grown cold to rekindle the fire that once burned in their hearts. I sense that this is a narrowing season where the path becomes more defined, where the choice becomes clearer, where there is less room to linger in indecision. And as He spoke, I could feel the weight of eternity pressing in, the reality that the days are moving faster than we realize, that what is coming will demand a steadfastness that can only be found in Him. This is the moment to shed every compromise, to release every weight that has kept you from running freely after Him, because what lies ahead will require a people who are anchored, unwavering, and completely surrendered,